This is the story of Diego Salamanca, from humble beginnings, leeching off his registered sex offender uncle.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Of how he built a Donnie J. Trump-sized empire from his hand-packaged, locally RV-grown brand of product. From the slums of his stank-ridden butthole of a hometown, known for his love of both cucks and c***s. Diego's story starts from his first deal. Awkward in his approach, like a constipated crab, surely not to raise suspicion in his buyers. But DIEGG had something special, kush so good it has grown men walking into walls. The fear of no authority. The ruthless negotiation skills.
No samples, I have no weed AC.
And the desire to leave every last customer satisfied. So even though he started in what looked like the pilot episode of Breaking Bad, he had what it takes to one day run this industry in the big city. Now due to logistical issues with the popo, I had to change my look a bit, so I decided to go with a fresh shave and some hair dye on the brows, because who would suspect the guy who looks like he's slurping chemotherapy out of Barney's dick to be a hardened criminal? And when I hit the town, I was committed to keeping a low profile at all costs. That is after I got the O.J. Simpson out of my system. That said, I was more broke and unemployable than a chick creating an OnlyFans profile, so I called Uncle Salamanca in lockup, who told me that he has some stacks of cash in town from his Andrew Tate days and gave me the locations to check for them. And so with almost 400 of blood money, I was ready to get to work. Turns out some dick pimple already wanted a turf war, as I got some XOXO gossip girl love note saying to fuck off, but he just doesn't know the beast he has awoken. If this weed wiener thinks he can take away my home and put me on the streets when it's apparently illegal to be out, he doesn't know just how resourceful I can be. I ran to the nearest motel, purchased a week's worth of beating off in rented beds for a measly $75, which just shows this shit definitely does not take place in America, and with that, tomorrow would start my takeover. I was up at the crack, no pun intended, of dawn, where I went straight to the local Dr. Phil to get some supplies. He asked my profession and I looked him dead in those fucking eyes and said I'm the drug dealer on these streets, to which he was like, dope, here's some weed roids because I respect the ambition. And goddamn did today have the Monday morning plant a marijuana maker in your motel room type of feeling, but I wasn't about to have the cops or gossip girl know what was brewing in this hooker sweat infested room. But then it was time to get to work. Turns out President Herbert Hoover had an underachieving brother who controlled the weed seed market, so he told me to head to the casino but to not act suspicious because there were cameras there, but clearly he doesn't know me. Anyways, I grabbed the weed seed out of this building anus and then roamed the streets back to my motel with this can of cannabis sperm out in plain sight, but my luck was about to change when I ran into an undercover cop. What a dumbass, I thought to myself, but anyways, it was now time to make the magic that Backyard Boogie LLC is known for. And then it was just time to wait. Happy Bud Day bitches, and we were back. It felt like the RV never got blown up and pervy Uncle Nelson's hard drive never got found by the cops. It's like these potheads could smell the OG Kush brewing as they were already lining up at the door for a little bit of this April 20th memorabilia, and I was gonna be greedy knowing my shit is the best. I arrived early to my first deal in the big town and decided I'd do a little door-to-door selling, knowing it would make my idol Mark Cuban proud, but also because I knew this ugly prostitute would be itching to get ripped off by the DIEGG. Then it was time for the first deal, and I had to be a bit of a detective to guess which one was my pothead buyer. That is the look of a satisfied customer. And with 2 sales down, you know exactly what time it was.
Expand, expand, expand. Clear forest, make land, fresh blood on hands.
The only thing is my weed seed supplier fucking gives directions like any passenger princess, so I lacked product to give to the 2 drug deals I had lined up. But I had bigger problems to deal with. I thought I was in the clear, picturing Kai Cenat watching this dank police chase on stream, but in reality, I was in cuffs. So the story of Diego Salamanca and my journey to the top was not short of challenges, whether it be my pedophile uncle, the Gossip Girl gang defending their territory, or the mall cops on power highs, but with my back against the wall, burdened with a criminal record, a list of buyers who got stood up, and a flaky weed seed supplier, would I be able to climb to the top, or would this jizz-covered motel bed be where I peak in life? Subscribe if you want to find out.